Station Houston on a big loop for robotics. We see brakes on, and since we do not have EVA2 today, we would like you to safety arm.
Okay, yes, we're complete with 2.201, and we'll safety arm. Thanks, Aki.
Copy, and great job.
Flight Engineer Tim Coper talking with Capcom in the Space Station Flight Control Room. Aki Hoshide, Coper, and Mission Specialist Julie Payette finished up the robotic work that involves the Space Station robotic arm for the day, having not only installed the integrated cargo carrier on the mobile base system, but also now having let go of it and moved away. It's going to be parked overnight, ready for its work in the morning, where it will be carrying Tom Marshburn around on his first EVA. View inside the life support system of the spacesuits that Mission Specialist Dave Wolf and Tom Marshburn will be wearing tomorrow during the second spacewalk of the mission, and getting their spacesuits ready for that work. And later today we'll be joining the entire crew of the stations and shuttle as they go over the procedures for the second spacewalk, making sure that everybody's ready to do their various jobs and support it however they've been assigned to. And then after that, Wolf and Marshburn will be closing the hatches on the airlock where they're currently working and spending the night inside at a lower air pressure than the rest of the station so that they can purge nitrogen from their bloodstreams, which will help them avoid the bends or decompression sickness when they do go outside of the station in the morning.
Expedition 20, crew member Frank DeWinna there working inside this waste and hygiene compartment. This is the crew's bathroom inside the U.S. segment of the station. There's another one inside the Russian segment. The theory so far is that there's some pre-treat water, which is basically the water with some chemicals in it that is inside this waste and hygiene compartment. Entered into part of the pump separator and some of the other parts inside this facility and caused it to shut down. So the teams here in Houston have been working very closely with their Russian counterparts to talk to the crew and to figure out exactly what can be done with some of the on-orbit spare parts that are up there. So DeWinna and the rest of the crew will continue to work on this throughout the rest of the day's activities today and then tomorrow to see if they can get it up and running again. In the meantime, the station crew will use the Russian segment facilities. The shuttle crew will use the one on board Endeavour.
Endeavour ISS, this is the Canadian Space Agency. How do you hear me?
Bonjour, Julie. Yes, we have you loud and clear. We're ready for the event.
Hello, Bob. Hello, Julie. Bonjour, Julie. Comme astronaute, je dois dire que je suis très heureux de vous voir tous les.
I'm very happy to see you both today. On behalf of the Canadian Space Agency, we're following everything you're doing very close by.
Pretty excited following this mission, and I have the pleasure of introducing Gary Goodyear, Minister of State for Science and Technology, and Stephen Blaney, a Deputy Member of Parliament. They will ask you some questions.
Well, hello. Let me just say, Robert and Julie, that the entire nation has been focused on your missions. We are very proud of you both. To have you two in space is clearly a historical milestone for this nation. Robert, if I could ask you the first question. Robert, you are part of the first six-man crew on the International Space Station. So what is it like to be part of that crew, working with the 5 countries? And also, what was it like to open the door and see a fellow Canadian coming on board?
Well, Mr. Goodyear, thank you for speaking with us today. The best thing about being an astronaut on board the space station is working with my crewmates. My 5 crewmates representing the other 4 agencies involved in the space station program are incredibly talented, passionate, motivated, enthusiastic people. That's the highlight for me. I'm also proud, being a Canadian, that Canada ranks with the leaders in world exploration and world innovation. It makes me very proud.
Poursuivre avec une seconde question pour Julie. Julie, je voudrais vous dire que je vous vois ici depuis le centre de Saint-Hubert.
Second question for Julie. From St. Hubert, your hairstyle is amazing.
Au nom des gens de Lévis-Bellechasse qui me regardent et qui vous regardent en ce moment,
on behalf of the entire people who is watching you
on ne peut qu'éprouver une très
and the entire country, we feel an immense pride.
comme si tout le Québec était à bord avec vous.
It's like the entire province of Quebec was on board with you, aboard the International Space Shuttle.
Marcher sur la Lune, de savoir qu'il y a une Québécoise comme vous qui est
It's amazing to know that somebody from Quebec like you
le bras canadien dans la navette spatiale
is aboard the space shuttle and representing Canada and Quebec
pour la composante japonaise. J'aimerais savoir
together with Japanese people.
Tout là-haut et puis
how do you feel way up there?
Aussi loin que ça de chez moi.
And the fact that you can see me from way up there from space.
Bonjour à tout le monde. Merci pour.
Hi everyone. Thank you.
C'est une station vraiment internationale ici parce que.
This is really an international station here.
Notre interurbain est très loin.
And St. Hubert is very, very far.
Pour ce qui est des bras canadiens que j'opère déjà maintenant 5 jours, je vous dirais que c'est une grande fierté, surtout aujourd'hui.
It's been 5 days now that I've been here. I'm extremely proud.
Les pièces de cargo de la soute de la navette spatiale pour l'installer temporairement.
Working on temporary setting up the cargo transferring issues. And you have 2 Canadian arms that are ensuring this mission.
Le Canadarm 2 qui est sur
Canadarm and Canadarm 2.
C'est une grande fierté, on est très très contents.
And I'm extremely proud and happy and to be part of this international community. And as you can see, I'm floating without gravity in space, just like my colleague.
Bob, let me ask you, all Canadians are wondering, you've been there now 7 weeks. How are you adapting to life, literally living and working in space?
Well, that's a good question. I've had one previous space flight before, which was a short duration, a 17-day flight, and I thought I had adapted after 17 days. That is not true. Certainly, I adapt physiologically. You know, the heart, the muscles, the vestibular system can adapt quickly. But living and working in a weightless environment is something that goes on not 7 weeks, perhaps it's more like 7 months. Learning to be productive, learning to be efficient, learning not to lose my things, which is a daily event for me, is something that takes a long time. I think I have learned an awful lot, and my working efficiency has dramatically risen. But there certainly is a certain rhythm to life aboard a space station, which is different than a shuttle flight, and it takes a little bit of learning. But I think, just from judging my more experienced crew members, that I'm 90 or 95% of the way there.
Wonderful. Julie, let me ask you a question, if I can. Your first trip to the space station was 10 years ago, when it was just being built, just beginning to be assembled. What was it like to board again 10 years later?
Well, first it was amazing to just come close to it. During the phase that we call the rendezvous, where the shuttle approaches the space station for docking. When I came 10 years ago, it was only a station module. It was very small, but even then it appeared to us to be enormous. And when the station docked to the space shuttle, it's only a few inches away from the back window of the space shuttle. It's extremely impressive to see 2 large pieces of hardware coming in contact like this in outer space. 10 years ago, I was amazed that we were so close, and the station was so